So I would love to hear about your clinical backgrounds, why you're such weapons. As the creator of Nesting Hub, Gail, could you explain to us where your training comes from, how long you've been a midwife and why you chose to move into home birth?
Yeah. Well, I'm from Scotland. I was a trained midwife 15 minutes west of Edinburgh and as part of the NHS. Yeah. I am not a nurse. I don't know if other people didn't know that, but I was the second cohort through the direct entry programme in midwifery in Scotland. So in January 1995 I started. I know here in Australia it started way later than that, but in the UK we were leaders in our field in that regard. So I didn't do nursing first. And so January 95 I started, and it was a 3-year diploma. And then halfway through the diploma they brought out a degree programme. So everybody that was coming after me were all going to be more qualified than me. So I ended up staying on and doing another 18 months beyond my 3-year diploma to do my degree. So I have a diploma in midwifery as well as a degree in midwifery, and worked in the NHS for 15 years before migrating to Adelaide in 2012. Worked there for almost 4 years and then moved to Sydney in January 2016. My passion has always been normal birth. Really do love normal physiology and non-medicalised birth, although we can medicalise, we have the means to medicalise, but we support normal physiology. And so, and also passionate, as I said earlier, about supporting the next generation. So I went on and done a Masters in Clinical Education whilst always still working in birthing unit, supporting University of Technology Sydney, UTS, and Western Sydney University students, and done my Masters in Clinical Education. So very passionate about that, but passionate about normal birth. And I taught the normal labour and birth unit at Western Sydney University as well, which was really great, and started the Nesting Hub. And the Nesting Hub was initially an education platform and perinatal mental health support. And it just snowballed. I was doing childbirth education, and so many of the people that engaged with me for the childbirth education said, I wish you could be my midwife. And after about the 8th couple to say that to me, I said to my husband Gary, my long-suffering husband Gary, who we have been together since the age of 12, I said to him, all these people want me to be their midwife. And he said, well, why don't you do it? But what I needed to do then was become an endorsement midwife. So I had to go back to university again, and I swore after the Masters I wasn't doing that, but I went back to university again and did the full prescribing course to become an endorsement midwife. And that then allowed the Nesting Hub to grow, embedding continuity of midwifery care and offering home birth. And then we just had that whole thing. Still do the childbirth education, still do the perinatal support, do some infant massage in the Nesting Hub, but it's predominantly the continuity of care with the home birth component and supporting continuity, which is what we're all passionate about. In the UK, you're trained in also doing home births. It's embedded in your training, or certainly was when we did our training in the NHS. So we were all familiar with home birthing and supporting normal physiology. And our women were in a midwifery model of care, and they only seen an obstetrician when we as the midwives and the woman herself decided upon that. So that was definitely the foundation in the NHS, and that has now become big part of the nesting hub, which is fantastic. And Kate was originally my second midwife, and over the course of our journey together, I said, would you like to do your endorsement too? Would you like to become a home birth midwife with me? And she said yes, which was beautiful. And Emma a bit later in the piece, which is beautiful. My cup is full and overflowing with normal physiology, with beautiful clients and with fantastic birth workers like yourself. And just having a team around who get the same ethos as me, I think, is just beautiful. So couldn't be happier.
So Emma, talk us through your training.
So I'm also from the UK, so I trained at Southampton Uni. Very similar, not a nurse, just did the direct entry. I went into it when I was young. I started training when I was 18 and then qualified when I was 21. So I was a real baby. I'm now 30, so it's been like a long journey. I feel very lucky to have trained where I did and come out with such a good foundation of normal. And I've never not worked in a continuity of care model. So I feel really blessed that was how I started my career. And I think whenever I've kind of dipped into supporting in other areas of the hospital, I find it really hard, really hard. So I feel very lucky, and my understanding of normal is kind of what underpins my practice as a private midwife. I then moved to Australia and worked in RPA Birth Centre, and then went to the Royal Women's and was in their MGP team, and finally got back to doing home birth. It was something I did lots of in the UK, and then got back into it finally at the Royal, and it was such an awesome experience to get back into it. I really enjoyed my time in MGP, but I just felt like I needed more. It was the best I'd experienced in Australia, but it wasn't quite there yet for me. So I did my endorsement and then kind of inquired with Gail, see if we could make something work, and it's the best thing I've ever done. It's been really hard. It's been really challenging. Being an endorsed midwife and working privately is not easy. It's incredibly demanding. You have to know you want to do it. It's not just a throwaway career. It becomes your life. But what an awesome career to have. And there's no way, absolutely no way, I could be doing this without Gail and without Kate. I feel so lucky. Just to have people to bounce off, and that call when you say, can you come? Can you come and can you be here? Regardless of what that is, I know that they'll always come.
Even if we're stuck in traffic, which we have, because we've had so many through the day births this year.
Or even if we've been up all night. They always come for me. And I think what's really nice is that in the hospital, I became the experienced midwife. And I lost that mentorship that I'd had in the UK, and I really, really missed it. So to be able to come out and be the baby again and get, learn, it's so invaluable. It's just been the best. Hard, but amazing. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you see yourself as a baby in this group, and yet your clinical history is exceptional. And there's no shortcut to that experience. No. So I think it's just the support environment that you get to be in, and just being, with midwives who are older than you helps. It will help all the way through. I think we've all got those mentors, but you're a weapon in your own right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Kate?
So I've similar stories to these two. Been a midwife 23 years, and obviously I'm not from round here. I've got a Yorkshire accent. I did all my training at Leeds University, and I did direct entry, the same, 3-year degree, and then qualified relatively young, as around 20, and started when I was similar to Emma, 18 or 19, and then worked. Always was fascinated by birth, always knew I wanted to do home birth. I'd been exposed to it. We work with community midwives in the UK as students. So I'd been exposed to it and seen home birth there. the first lecture I had about home birth, at the end of it, I came out thinking, that's it. That's totally for me. I want to do this as a career, and I'm having my babies at home, like 100%. And then quite quickly, once I was qualified, met my husband, who was an obstetrician. Everyone said that's doomed to failure. That's an absolute disaster relationship, because you are a radical midwife who thinks home birth's good. So the minute you tell him, confess your dirty secret, he'll be off, because you won't think that's safe. So really early into my dating with him, the test question as to whether I could see him anymore was, the thing is, when I have my children, I'm having them at home. Those babies are being born at home. And so what do you think to that? And there was a little pause and a little silence. I thought, here it comes. No more dating this man. And he said, I think that's a brilliant idea. So that was it then. He couldn't get rid of me. And we had 2 babies at home. He needed re-education, and I educated him in the ways of physiological labour and birth, and he saw a water birth for the first time with our baby, and so realised that dream. And then with my first, I wasn't actually involved in home birth then. It was still like a thing that happened in the community with the community midwives, and I was working in the birthing unit. I loved birth, so I worked there predominantly most of the time. And then we got a home birth team, and we'd go out and support the community midwives. So I jumped on that straight away, and I worked on the home birth team and got lots of experience with home births in the UK. And then we emigrated here in 2013, and I didn't move for the midwifery. I knew so few babies are born at home here compared to the UK. I kissed goodbye to home birth really. And got a job in the hospital, and my kids were still young, so I needed the structure of the shifts and couldn't really commit to being on call all the time. I met Gail, and we became friends because we bonded over tea. Because she was the only person she would drink black tea with cow's milk, just the same as I drank it. So we made tea for each other, like every hour. And everyone else didn't drink tea and thought that was weird. So we got friends, and then we stayed friends and moved to Northern Beaches Hospital together. And then Gail left before me to start the business. And then I left the hospital during COVID and remembered that Gail was doing home birth. And I thought, I wonder if she needs a hand. So it said, do you need a hand? And she was like, yes, I need a second midwife. So I jumped at that. And that just opened a whole new world that I never thought I'd get back into. And I was so grateful. And I thought I knew about home birth, and I did, but really understanding physiological home birth and physiological labour and birth and what the potential is, like, it really opened my eyes. I'm just feeling so free. So when Gail suggested to be endorsed and do the extra qualification, I thought, jumped at that, and I've never looked back, and it's been the best decision I ever made.
You just couldn't be in safer hands with the 3 women here sitting on the couch. I hope that people really understand that you're not fringe hippies coming at this.
No, and we're qualified. People don't realise that.
Qualified. Over 3,000 births across almost 28 years as a midwife.
I forgot to mention Kev. You guys both mentioned your partners. Beautiful Kev has been with me since I started training, and he's like a midwife, so I couldn't do it without Kev either.
And my 2 children, Keris and Anna, who have been integral to the Nesting Hub and doing, Keris created our Nesting Hub branding, the website, the Instagram and Facebook templates and things. Like it really is, and we actually do speak about the Nesting Hub family. And at the morning teas, Gary is out there. Gary does all the finance, the pool cleaning. He does my supplies and sources cheaper items for me.
He does lots.
And he is there manning the coffee machine, making everybody their decaf, their fully calf, their soy, their almond is gold, so they really are, they've been a very special part of it as well,
Beautiful. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you and spend time with you here today.
Oh, and we thank you. We extend huge thanks to you. We really do love working with you in the birth space, and for you supporting our clients is absolutely beautiful. For the recommendations from you as well, really is so heartwarming. We love what you do. So thank you too, Danae.
Thank you, guys.